Alright, so I'm gonna quickly go over this GBPCAD trade that I'm currently in. So on GBPCAD right now, if you look at the higher time frames like the monthly, for example, we're kind of stuck in this range, right? So we have the range highs here. I have to check if that's all-time highs. Yeah, we're currently trading above the range highs here, right? So swept the range highs, and we've seen this large displacement lower, right? So we've and from this dealer range high to dealer range low, now we have formed we've been accumulating for a while now, right? So to me, this right here is a daily slash weekly AMD, right? You can see by the bodies of the candles there's an accumulation. So we've been ranging and we've had a deviation of the range highs, right? So we swept the range highs, came into this fair value gap, swept the range highs again, displaced lower and formed this bearish order block, and then we came into this bearish order block here, right, on the daily, and then we've seen some displacement here. And if you can see on the daily, we have this Friday high and this Monday high here, and on Tuesday we swept both of these highs into that daily order block. And if you go onto the 4 hours, a bit more clear, right? So we have the range highs here being the previous month high, I believe. Yeah, so we have the previous month high here, right? We swept the previous month high, which is a major liquidity pool inside of a range and market, and we had a deviation of it back inside the range. So for me, this is a clear smart money reversal. We had this 4 hour fair value gap inside of the daily bearish order block, and then we had a sweep inside of it. We had a high engineer here, swept the high into the 4 hour fair value gap and the daily order block, and then we've seen this displacement here. So for me, we also inverted this fair value gap here, right? So you can see this fair value gap was holding price here the whole time, right? On the 4 hour, we never got a body closure below this fair value gap on the 4 hour. So after we had this bearish 4 hour fair value gap, sweep into it, formed this bearish order block, and then displaced lower and closed below this order block, which is holding price. To me, that was clear bearish order flow, right? This was clear to me that we're likely to go lower from this after this range deviation, and we're likely to come into the range lows now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 equal lows that are stacked up here, and to me this is just like a clear market maker sell model, right? So initial accumulation, reaccumulation, smart money reversal, the low risk sell, and then now we've confirmed the low risk sell, and we are confirming bearish order flow on the 4 hour. We had the bearish 4 hour bearish fair value gap, sold off from it, and at the same time we're disrespecting bullish fair value gaps at the same time. So order flow on the 4 hours clearly bearish, and for me, all I did was I took a swing trade at this 4 hour order block, 4 hour fair value gap here that's formed with my validation above the 4 hour inversion fair value gap, and we have the for me, bearish accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So price shouldn't go back inside the range for bullish, right? It should just come retest this 4 hour fair value gap and then continue lower. So my validation is essentially above these bearish PD areas, and on the 1 hour is a bit more clear, right? So we had this stop run into this 1 hour order block that formed after rejecting from the 4 hour fair value gap. So we had the sweep, and then we had this push down lower. So my validation is above here. So essentially, the thing is, on the daily now, it looks a bit more conflicting. But after going over the higher time frame and the 4 hour, there's a clear narrative in why I'm expecting lower prices on GBPCAD, right? So the only issue I have here is that I wanted to see price, come into the 4 hour fair value gap and then see displacement quick, but we kind of started to consolidate here for the rest of the day, and that led to this large wick inside of this daily daily bullish fair value gap. So it's not really the most ideal close, because we have the Monday lows, we set the Monday lows and close back inside the range, and we're respecting this bullish daily fair value gap. So because even though we've had that close, because the 4 hour is still bearish, right? We're forming lower lows, and right now we're currently respecting this 4 hour fair value gap, and we've inverted this upper fair value gap. For me, it's worth a shot to anticipate that price will go lower here. Just looking at the higher time frames, the monthly, the weekly, daily, top down analysis. So I'm expecting this invalidation to hold, and for price to continue lower here. And as long as we don't get a closure above this 4 hour inversion fair value gap, as long as we don't reclaim that, I'm anticipating price to continue lower down here, and then eventually come for these lows, all of these equal lows here, right? For me, it doesn't make sense after seeing this deviation and confirming the lower sell for price to come into these imbalances with all these equal lows stacked up and then continue higher, because now this is high resistant liquidity and order flow is already bearish, and we have equal lows here. So it doesn't make sense for price to go higher before going lower and taking out these lows. So as long as these bearish PD arrays now hold, then I'm anticipating lower prices. So right now I'm gonna hold this swing trade and see how long it takes to play out. But another thing is that because we're in a range of market, this could take a while for this trade to play out. So yeah, right now I'm just not touching it. I'm just letting it do its thing and see if you can come and take out these lows here. So another thing on the daily is that now we formed this bearish proportion block. So we had this order block, traded lower, came back into the order block, and now we've closed above these two up close candles, forming a proportion block. So if we're truly bearish here, we want to see this proportion block hold, and right now it's currently holding. So my invalidation is above the proportion block, so price shouldn't lose these 4 hour bearish key levels and this daily bearish key level as well here. So if price was to come higher, ideally if it taps the proportion block, I want to see price see large displacement lower, and once we invert this bearish daily fair value gap, then I'll see if I can look to get a scale in position and see if we can come and take out these lows here. But yeah, essentially that's the logic behind the swing trade position I'm in right now. So right now we'll quickly go over the CAD futures, because when you take trades on exotics, which I don't usually do, it has to be something really clean on the higher time frames, and in my opinion this is a good higher time frame play to take. So if we go onto the CAD futures chart, it currently looks a bit 50-50 on the weekly time frame, right? Because we've taken out all this buy side, displaced lower, but we've retraced into this bullish daily fair value gap resting inside of the discount. So and we've seen a push higher from this weekly bullish fair value gap inside the discount, and in my opinion, I think that we see higher prices on CAD futures. So if you have I'm anticipating lower prices on pound, and I'm anticipating higher prices on CAD futures, which should lead to GBPCAD to go lower, essentially, right? So that's what my analysis was based off. We have these highs, this high, and then we have these highs on the higher time frames, which is my higher time frame drawn liquidity for CAD futures. So I want to see price to after taking out these lows, I want to see price to continue higher from here. And if you look on a daily, right, it's a bit conflicting because we have the weekly fair value gap and we have this large bearish dealer range, and we swept this high and we swept the previous day high and closed back inside the range. But for me, I want to see price to go higher from this daily fair value gap, which we're currently doing, right? We had the accumulation, manipulation, and then we've taken out the range lows now, and we're seeing price go higher. So this could also be a manipulation of the range lows. So essentially, if you're bearish, if price was truly bearish, in my opinion, we would have seen a closure below this up close candle, which would have made me, a bit more doubtful that we're actually bearish, we're actually bullish on CAD futures. But the fact that we've swept the lows and we've seen immediate displacement after taking out the range lows into the daily fair value gap makes me think that we will see a continuation higher here. So that's my anticipation. Higher prices on CAD futures, which should lead to CAD cross pairs to go down as a result. And as you can see on EuroCAD as well, EuroCAD had a bearish daily print as well, bit more bearish than GBPCAD because of Euro GBP, right? Euro GBP was bearish, which meant that Euro was weaker than Pound, so EuroCAD had the larger drop, while Pound CAD, was a bit more bullish. So essentially, this is giving me some hope as well, because on EuroCAD I'm anticipating lower prices. We've almost inverted this fair value gap here. When this 4-hour candle closes, then we're gonna have this as an inversion, which should mean that price should send lower from here into these lows next. So if EuroCAD's going lower, then Pound CAD, because they're like somewhat correlated pairs, then Pound CAD should also go lower. So yeah. And then on Euro GBP, I'm expecting higher prices because we've taken out the sell side and we've inverted this daily bearish daily fair value gap. So I'm anticipating higher prices on this pair. And if you look, we also have left equal highs here, as you can see. So we have equal highs, we have a sweep in and bullish displacement, inverted this. So this is technically a BPR, right? We have a bullish fair value gap aligning with a inversion fair value gap. So this should, if we're bullish here on Euro GBP, this should send it higher from the daily fair value gap. So that's my anticipation and price. Maybe price can either take out this low one more time and then continue higher, but that's my anticipation, that price is taking out this internal low, and now we're going to go for the external highs here, which should result in Pound to be the weaker pair, and then we should see Pound cross pairs to go lower as well. Pound weakness, CAD strength should lead to a nice explosive move on this pair right here, and this pair having all these equal lows here as well, it gives me conviction that we'll see lower prices on this pair. So I want to see price to invert this daily fair value gap first, and then I'll have a lot more confidence in this trade to play out. But based off the 4-hour structure right now, in my opinion, this trade looks good. So yeah, I'll probably do an update video once this trade plays out, if it hits stop loss or it hits TP. So we'll see how this shit plays out.